nobody and nothing will ever hurt you again. That's not just a promise, it's a decision you make. You felt it before, haven't you? That sinking feeling when someone lets you down. The tightness in your chest when the world doesn't see your worth. I know that place. That ache from betrayal, that sting of rejection, that silent storm of trying to keep your head up when everything inside you is falling apart. But let me tell you something powerful: you are not meant to live in pain. You were built to rise above pain, to find strength and courage in the very places that try to break you. You're not here to stay wounded. I want you to listen to me like I'm sitting across from you heart to heart. Because what I'm about to tell you, I didn't learn from a book. I learned it in the trenches. I've been betrayed. I've been misunderstood. I've been crushed under the weight of trying to be everything for everyone. And in all that chaos, I found something no one could ever teach me. Found peace in my power. See, when I say nobody and nothing will ever hurt you again, I'm not talking about becoming some stone cold version of yourself. I'm talking about something deeper. I'm talking about learning how to stop giving people the power to shake your world. Because truth is, people only have as much power over you as you hand to them. And I know you might be thinking, Will, that's easier said than done. You're right. But every person who's ever found their way out of the storm started by realizing that they couldn't wait for life to change before they stood up. They had to change themselves. And now, here's what most people get wrong. They think healing means forgetting the pain. No, that's not healing, that's pretending. Real healing is when you can remember it and it doesn't control you anymore. It's when you see the scar and say, yeah, that happened to me, but it didn't tend me. It made me stronger. It taught me how to protect my energy. It gave me the blueprint for how I walk forward. And that's what I want to offer you right now, not just a story, not just some motivation to keep going, but a shift in how you see yourself. Because you are not a victim of your past. You are the author of your next chapter. And what happens next is not going to be about what hurt you. It's going to be about how you rise above pain with dignity. Let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way sometimes. We're so desperate for love, for approval, for connection, that we start handing out pieces of ourselves like candy. We give away our peace to people who haven't even earned our presence. We let words cut us. We let silence torture us. But from this point on, you're not just going to survive. You're going to protect your space. You're going to set boundaries that don't need to be explained. You're going to stop asking for permission to be powerful. Because guess what you already are? It's time to stop being ashamed of your healing. It's time to stop playing small just to keep other people comfortable. And it's time to take your power back, piece by piece. Remember, throughout this video, I'm going to drop gems that don't just sound good, but actually work. So stay with me. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Let me ask you something real. When was the last time you put yourself first without guilt? When was the last time you said, I matter too, and really meant it? Because that's where the shift begins, not in the noise of the outside world, but in the silence of your own heart, when you decide that your peace is not up for debate. See, people think being strong means being untouchable, but true strength isn't hard. It's soft enough to feel, smart enough to know when to walk away, and brave enough to say, I love myself enough to let go of what hurts. That takes courage. That takes real strength and courage. It's easy to hold on to pain. It's easy to sit in bitterness. But it's powerful to choose peace over payback, to choose growth over grudges. There was a moment in my life when I had to look in the mirror and ask myself, who am I when nobody's clapping? Because that's when you meet the real you. And if the real you is still bleeding from what they did to you, then you're not free. You're functioning, but you're not living. You can rest it up. You can smile through it. But if you're still haunted by what someone said, if you're still waiting for that apology, You've given them the keys to your happiness. And we're done with that. From this point forward, you take the keys back. Let me be clear, you're not broken. You're not damaged goods. You're becoming, and sometimes becoming looks like breaking down, crying in your car, losing sleep, cutting people off, and starting over. That's not failure, that's elevation. That's you rising above pain, one decision at a time. People are always asking me how I stay centered in this wild world. And I tell them it's not about what I do when life is easy. It's about what I do when it's not. When things fall apart, I don't fall with them. I rebuild. I recalibrate. I remind myself that no storm is stronger than a grounded soul. You gotta stop expecting peace from people who are at war with themselves. You've been trying to rescue people who drown you. You've been over-explaining yourself to folks who made up their mind to misunderstand you. Why? Because somewhere along the way, you forgot that you were worthy without their approval. But today, we flip that script. Today, we stop negotiating our value. We stop waiting for closure. We stop apologizing for outgrowing places and people. Because sometimes your healing will offend those who benefited from your brokenness. Let them be offended. You've got healing to do. You've got places to be. You've got a future to build that doesn't require their permission. And stay tuned, because in the next part, I'm going to talk about one of the biggest shifts in my life, something I did that changed how I deal with people forever. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. Let me tell you a secret that changed everything for me the moment I realized that I was not here to live up to anyone else's expectations. Was the moment I started to live for me. And man, that was a game changer. See, we've all been there, testing validation, trying to fit into a mold that wasn't designed for us. We try to be the person others need us to be and forget who we truly are in the process. But let me make it clear, you are not meant to shrink to fit in. The world will try to shape you. The world will try to tell you who you should be, what you should look like, what success should look like, but it's all noise. And if you listen to it too long, it starts to drown out your own voice, the voice that says, I'm enough. It's about time we start living for ourselves. Not in a selfish, I don't care about anyone way, but in a way that says, I deserve peace, I deserve joy, I deserve to be who I am. There's no need to sacrifice yourself to fit a mold that was never meant for you. When you start living for yourself, that's when you stop allowing the world's chaos to control your emotions. That's when nothing and nobody has the power to hurt you. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. When I was younger, I was so caught up in trying to make others proud. I was afraid of disappointing people, and I ended up disappointing myself. I thought the key to happiness was in making others happy. But I found out that the real happiness comes from being comfortable in your own skin, from being able to stand firm and unapologetically as you. Let me tell you something powerful. The moment I let go of the need to be liked by everyone, I realized I was already enough. I didn't need approval. I didn't need validation. What I needed was to love myself without apology. What I needed was to stop apologizing for my greatness. And most importantly, I needed to stop expecting my peace to come from anyone else. That's when I learned that strength and courage don't come from other people, they come from within. Now, that doesn't mean you're always going to get it right. That doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. But the difference is this: when you know who you are, the setbacks don't define you. When you know you're worthy of peace, the drama doesn't pull you in. And when you trust your own strength, nothing can take away your power. And here's the thing most people miss. Just because someone tries to tear you down doesn't mean they've won. Just because the world puts pressure on you doesn't mean you'll break. It's like this: if you build a house in a storm, it doesn't matter how strong the wind blows. The foundation is what keeps it standing. And your foundation is built on who you are, not who they say you should be. So the next time life gets hard or people try to knock you down, remember your foundation. Remember your strength. Remember, you are unbreakable. You see, people will always have something to say about you, but that's none of your business. The moment you realize that the opinions of others don't determine your worth, you can't be touched. You rise above the drama. You rise above the noise. And you rise above the pain. No one gets to have power over your peace anymore. No one gets to determine your joy. And trust me, in the next part, we're diving even deeper. I'm going to show you how to stop giving away your energy to the wrong people and how to start protecting your peace without guilt. I don't want you to miss it. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves to share space with your peace. You have to be picky about the people you allow into your life, because there's something powerful that happens when you start to protect your energy. You stop giving it away to people who drain you, people who only show up when they need something, people who always take and never give back. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay to let people go. It's okay to outgrow relationships. It's okay to say, I love you, but I love myself more. You see, for years, I didn't realize how much my energy was being consumed by people who didn't appreciate it. People who were always around when it was convenient, but disappeared when things got tough. I kept pouring into them, trying to make them happy, trying to fix them. But I was losing myself in the process. The moment I realized that I had to start valuing myself, my energy, my time, that's when everything started to change. I wasn't available to everyone anymore. I wasn't available to the drama. I wasn't available to the people who had nothing to offer except their baggage. And you know what happened? I became stronger. I became more focused. I became unbothered by the things that used to shake me. I stopped letting other people's problems become my problems. I stopped letting their negativity seep into my soul. And I'm telling you right now, you have to start doing the same. When you start protecting your peace, you stop letting other people control your emotions. You stop reacting to things that don't deserve your energy. You stop getting caught up in the chaos of things you can't control. And you know what you find instead? You find your inner calm. You find your power. You find your ability to stay grounded, no matter how high the waves are around you. Because let me tell you, the waves are going to come. People are going to disappoint you. Situations are going to challenge you. But the difference is this: when you know who you are, when you trust your strength, those waves don't have the power to drown you. You become the calm in the storm. It's easy to get caught up in trying to fix other people, trying to change their minds, trying to make them understand you. But you'll never be able to change someone who isn't ready to change. And let me tell you something, that's not your job. Your job is to protect your peace, to protect your energy, and to stay true to who you are, regardless of who approves. Your job is to rise above the noise, rise above the distractions, and keep moving forward. Don't let anyone dim your light. Don't let anyone make you feel small, because you were meant to shine, and nothing and no one should have the power to take that away from you. And here's the thing, sometimes you're not going to see it right away. Sometimes when you start setting boundaries, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You might feel guilty. You might feel like you're being selfish. But let me tell you something, there's nothing wrong with protecting your peace. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't have the energy for this right now. And you know what? The people who truly care about you, the ones who value you, they're not going to hold it against you. They're going to respect your space. They're going to respect your boundaries. And if they don't, that's their problem, not yours. Now, I want you to take a deep breath and repeat after me, I am worthy of peace. Say it again, I am worthy of peace, because you are. And the moment you embrace that truth, nothing and nobody can ever hurt you again. You will rise above pain. You will rise above the negativity. You will rise above the people who try to tear you down. And you will stand tall in your strength, your courage, your power. That's the life you deserve. That's the life you were born for. I've got something even more powerful coming for you in the next part. I'm going to show you how to completely change the way you respond to life's challenges, how to stop reacting and start taking control. You don't want to miss it. All right, now that we've covered how to protect your peace and set healthy boundaries, let's talk about something even more powerful, the way you respond to life's challenges. Because here's the truth: life's challenges will come. They will show up uninvited. They'll knock on your door when you least expect it. And if you're not careful, they'll try to knock you off your path. But let me tell you something: you get to decide how you respond. See, for a long time, I was reactive. When something bad happened, I'd react in anger or frustration, or maybe I'd try to avoid it altogether. But I learned the hard way that reacting to life is a losing game. Because life doesn't care about your reaction, it just keeps going. It doesn't wait for you to get over your anger. It doesn't pause for you to heal. It doesn't stop when you feel overwhelmed. It just keeps moving with or without you. But here's the thing: you have the power to respond instead of reacting. You have the power to control your emotions, your decisions, and your actions. And when you take that power back, that's when you stop being a victim of your circumstances. That's when you stop letting life dictate your mood. That's when you realize that nothing and nobody can hurt you unless you let them. And trust me, once you realize that, the world starts to look a whole lot different. It's like this: imagine you're walking down the street, minding your own business, and someone bumps into you. Now you have two choices. You can either get angry, start yelling, and let it ruin your day. Or you can smile, say "excuse me," and keep walking without letting it affect you. Now, the second choice isn't about letting the person off the hook for their rudeness. It's about taking back control of your emotions. It's about choosing to rise above the small stuff, choosing not to let insignificant things disrupt your peace. And the more you practice that in small moments, the more you'll be able to handle life's bigger challenges with grace. The people who hurt you, the situations that challenge you, they're not in control of your happiness. You get to decide if you're going to let someone's words or actions define your day. You get to decide if you're going to let a setback stop your progress. And most importantly, you get to decide how much power you give to external circumstances. You can rise above the pain, or you can let the pain rise above you. The choice is always yours. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you won't feel pain, frustration, or even anger. What I'm saying is this: you don't have to stay there. You don't have to let those emotions control you. You don't have to let life's challenges stop you from moving forward. You can acknowledge them, feel them, but then you can choose to rise above them. That's where the power is. This is where the real magic happens: when you stop being a slave to your emotions, when you stop reacting and start responding with wisdom, patience, and strength. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never feeling down or frustrated. It's about recognizing that you have the strength to bounce back, that you have the courage to keep going, that you have the wisdom to choose your responses instead of letting life choose for you. And that, my friend, is how you regain your power. That's how you keep from being hurt by the world around you. In the next part, we're going to talk about something even more important: how to make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people, people who lift you up, support you, and push you to be your best self. Stay tuned, because this will completely shift how you think about the relationships in your life. Now that you've started to take control of how you respond to challenges, let's talk about the people you surround yourself with. Because here's The thing, your environment plays a massive role in how you show up in the world. The people you keep close to, either lift you up or pull you down. And if you're serious about never being hurt again, it's time to start making sure your circle is filled with the right people. You've probably heard this before. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, that's not just some motivational quote, it's a fact. The people around you shape your mindset, your habits, and your energy. If you're hanging out with people who complain all the time, who play the victim, who drag you into their negativity, you're going to start adopting those same attitudes. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who push you to be better every single day, you'll start to rise to a new level. When I look back at my own journey, I can trace most of my growth to the people I chose to have around me. I've always believed in the power of surrounding yourself with winners. Because winners don't just succeed on their own, they lift each other up. Winners motivate each other to keep going when the going gets tough. Winners celebrate each other's victories and challenge each other to go further. That's the kind of energy you need in your life. You need people who don't just see the best in you, they demand the best from you. But here's the thing, not everyone you meet is going to have that mindset. Not everyone is going to be on the same frequency of growth and success that you are. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people are only meant to be a part of your journey for a season. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be willing to let go of relationships that no longer serve you, even if those relationships are with people you love. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. There were times in my life when I was holding on to people who weren't ready to grow, people who didn't have the same drive, the same vision, the same desire to better themselves. And I found myself stuck in places I didn't want to be, just because I was trying to hold on to people who weren't on the same path. But once I realized that the right people lift you up, that they will encourage your growth, not stifle it, I started to choose more carefully who I spent my time with. And that made all the difference. I'm not saying you should cut off everyone who isn't perfect. What I am saying is that you need to be intentional about your relationships. You need to surround yourself with people who have similar goals, who are going to support you when you fall, and who are going to challenge you to be your best self, even when you're comfortable. You need people who will tell you the hard truth when you need it, not just the things you want to hear. Because that's how you grow, and that's how you stay strong in the face of adversity. Another key thing to remember is that you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving your energy to people who don't give anything back, you're going to burn out. That's why it's crucial to surround yourself with people who are reciprocal, people who pour into you, people who support you, people who respect your time, energy. If someone is constantly draining you without offering anything in return, it's time to reassess that relationship. Your peace is too valuable to be spent on people who don't appreciate it. And listen, it's not always easy to let go of people. Sometimes we hold on because of guilt, because of history, because we don't want to be the bad guy. But the truth is, you don't have to be the villain in someone else's story to protect your own peace. Letting go doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that you're choosing to love yourself more. And when you choose to love yourself more, you make space for people who are going to bring more love, more joy, and more peace into your life. And that's where the magic happens. So, ask yourself right now, who do I need to remove from my life? Who is holding me back from being my best self? Who do I need to distance myself from in order to protect my peace? The answers will come, and when they do, don't hesitate. Don't second guess yourself. Your future self will thank you. Now that we've discussed how to rise above pain and protect your peace through your relationships, let's talk about resilience, the ability to stay strong, focused, and motivated no matter what life throws at you. Because let's face it, Life is going to throw some serious challenges your way. There's no way around it. But resilience isn't about avoiding the challenges, it's about facing them head on with strength, courage, and determination. I remember a time in my own life when I thought I'd reached my breaking point. It felt like everything was crashing down: career struggles, personal losses, moments when I doubted my purpose. It seemed like no matter what I did, things just weren't working out the way I had planned. I could have easily given up. I could have let that pain define me. But I didn't. I found the strength to keep going. And that strength didn't come from some magical place, it came from within. It came from deciding that no matter how hard things got, I was going to rise above them. That's what resilience is, the decision to keep going, even when everything inside you tells you to quit. It's the refusal to let pain, failure, or disappointment control your destiny. Resilience is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And just like lifting weights, sometimes it gets harder before it gets easier. But if you keep pushing through, if you keep showing up even when you don't feel like it, eventually you'll find that the challenges that once seemed impossible to overcome become nothing more than stepping stones to your success. But here's the truth. You can't be resilient if you don't have a clear goal. If you don't know what you're working toward, if you don't have a why that pulls you forward, it's easy to get lost in the pain. It's easy to give up when things get tough. But when you have a why, when you have a mission, a purpose that lights a fire inside, you would become so much easier to push through the hard time. Your why is the anchor that keeps you grounded when the storm is raging around you. It's the vision that pulls you through the fog when the road ahead seems unclear. It's the reason you get out of bed every morning, ready to take on the day. And when you have that, nothing can break you. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that there won't be days when you feel like throwing in a towel. But what I am saying is this: you are strong enough to handle it. You are brave enough to push through the discomfort. And you have the courage to stay the course no matter how hard it gets. Now, let me tell you something that might surprise you. Sometimes failure is the key to resilience. I know that sounds counterintuitive, right? But hear me out. Failure teaches you things success never will. Failure teaches you how to get back up when you fall. Failure shows you where you need to grow, where you need to improve. Failure forces you to get creative, to find new solutions, and to become better than you were before. Without failure, there is no growth. Without failure, there is no resilience. And the most successful people you know, they've all faced failure. They've all been knocked down, sometimes more times than they can count. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the failure, it's what they do after the failure. Do they stay down, or do they rise stronger and more determined than ever? The key is to fail forward. Embrace the lessons that failure offers. See it not as a setback, but as a setup for a greater comeback. Because every failure is just a lesson waiting to be learned, and every setback is an opportunity to come back stronger. And this isn't just about professional resilience. It's about personal resilience too. How do you bounce back when a relationship falls apart? How do you handle it when life doesn't go according to plan? It's easy to feel lost when things aren't working out, but the most resilient people find a way to bounce back, to keep their heads high, to remember that their story isn't finished yet. They understand that failure doesn't define them, it refines them. So, the next time life throws a curveball your way, remember this: you have everything you need inside you to face it. You have the strength, the courage, and the wisdom to rise above. You have the power to decide that nothing and nobody can hurt you, because you are too strong to be knocked down for long. You've got this. And I'm telling you right now, when you face your next challenge, don't back down. Don't run from it. Don't let it stop you. Rise above it. You are resilient. You are unstoppable. We've covered a lot so far, right? How to rise above pain, how to protect your peace, how to build resilience, and how to surround yourself with the right people. But the last key ingredient to making sure that nobody and nothing will ever hurt you again is your mindset. You've got to protect your mind. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It can either create your best reality or imprison you in your worst nightmare. And guess what? You get to choose. You get to choose how you see the world and how you respond to it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's not about what happens to you, it's about what you do with what happened. The world will throw things at you. People will disappoint you. You'll face failures, setbacks, and hardages. But at the end of the day, the way you choose to look at those things will determine whether they hurt you or make you stronger. Your mind is the filter through which you see the world, and that filter needs to be clean. It needs to be sharp, focused, and unwavering. And you have the power to keep it that way. Now, here's the trick. You have to guard your thoughts like they're your most prized possession, because they are. Your thoughts create your reality. They determine your level of happiness, your success, and even your health. So, when negative thoughts start creeping in, when that little voice in your head starts telling you that you're not good enough, or that you'll never make it, or that you'll never make it, or that you're just not worthy of success, shut it down. You have the power to tell that voice, not today. You have the power to tell your mind what to think, not the other way around. Now, this isn't about denying the challenges you're facing. It's not about pretending like everything is okay when it's not. What it's about is choosing to focus on the solutions, not the problems. Choosing to believe that you're strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. Choosing to believe that you are worthy of everything you desire. Choosing to believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. Because at the end of the day, the only belief that matters is the one you have in yourself. And here's the secret to keeping your mind set in check. You need to practice gratitude every single day. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It's impossible to be in a state of gratitude and fear at the same time. You can't feel thankful for your life and be stuck in negativity at the same time. It just doesn't work. Gratitude is the antidote to fear. So, every morning when you wake up, take a moment to think about 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe it's the roof over your head, the people you love, a fact that you woke up this morning. Just take a moment to appreciate those things. Because the more you focus on what you have, the more you'll realize how much you have to be thankful for. And when you're thankful, you'll notice that you feel better, you feel lighter, and you feel lighter, and you feel more in control. It's like flipping a switch in your brain. It shifts you from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. And that shift will change everything. And while you're working on your mindset, don't forget about the power of focus. Focus is everything. What you focus on grows. If you're constantly focusing on what's wrong, what you don't have, or what you've lost, you'll get more of that in your life. But if you focus on your strengths, on what's going right, and on the future you want to create, you'll start to see opportunities where you used to see obstacles. Focus gives you the power to tune out the noise, to shut down distractions, and to put all your energy into the things that matter most. You don't have time to waste on things that don't serve you. So keep your focus sharp. Keep your eyes on the prize. Now, the final thing I want to talk about before we wrap this up is the importance of forgiveness. This one's huge. You can't move forward in your life if you're carrying the weight of anger, resentment, or grudges. I know it's hard. I know sometimes it feels like the only way to protect yourself is to hold on to that hurt. But that's a lie. The only person that pain hurts is you. Forgiving others doesn't mean you're excusing their actions or letting them off the hook. It means you're letting go of the power they have over you. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free. It's about choosing peace over pain. And trust me, when you forgive, you unlock the door to a whole new level of strength and freedom. Now, before we end, I want to remind you of something. You're stronger than you think. You have everything you need inside you to rise above pain, to keep going, and to overcome whatever life throws at you. You have the strength, the courage, and the power to create the life you deserve. And from this moment on, no one and nothing will ever hurt you again unless you allow it. So protect your peace, guard your mind, and keep your focus clear. You've got this. I believe in you. Thank you for sticking with me through this entire journey. I hope you've learned something that will help you navigate life with more strength, more courage, and more resilience. Remember, you have everything you need inside you. You just have to believe it. And if you want to keep learning more and unlocking the keys to a stronger mindset and a better life, make sure you subscribe to Wisdom Recorder and hit that like button to show your support. We've got more valuable insights coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep going because nobody and nothing will ever hurt you again. Take care, and we'll see you next time.